Ron Pitts here along with Marv Levy. The Chargers up by 3 over the Seattle Seahawks. We are about to start the second half. And Coach, your assessments of this first half, not a lot of scoring, but as you said, both teams did come to play, and it's about pride right now.
It is, and they're playing that way. The Chargers also playing with a very banged up offensive line. The right guard Finotti is out. Jason Bell is out. The story to me, the difference is turnovers. The Seahawks nearly got into the end zone on a fourth down gamble. After a good game, they fumbled the ball. They had a tipped interception. Both teams still playing hard. Anybody's ball game, and it's an exciting one.
Both of those touchdowns were on the quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks come into this game looking to have a good one. Obviously, Matt Hasselbeck, we talked briefly about his contract situation. His contract is aligned up so that if he performs well, he could get a substantial increase in next year's salary, or he could lose a substantial amount in next year's salary. And then Drew Brees, he's trying to improve on a week-to-week basis. Look at Hasselbeck there. Yeah,
Hasselbeck is well over 200 yards on his way to another 450-yard plus game once more. That should enhance that contract consideration. I'll let him worry about what the exact figures, but he's performing like a real pro. I think he's a fine quarterback for the future.
Right now, let's go down to our sideline reporter, Brent Ringenbach. He's with Seattle Seahawks head coach Mike Holmgren.
Coach, several weeks ago, you challenged your team to finish the year strong. You have a chance to finish the year with 3 straight wins. What do you have to do to get that done?
Well, the second half, we got to hold on to the football. We were very, very careless with the football. Defense is playing pretty well, but our special teams haven't picked up a notch. So if we can hold on to the ball and keep protecting the quarterback and do a decent job on special teams, we got a chance to win.
What do you think of Matt's performance so far? What does he need to keep doing to get into the end zone?
Well, he can't take sacks. That's what he can't do. So, and they got a good pressure defense. So if they start getting in there, he's got to throw the ball away and avoid those real long yard situations.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. And Ron, 1999 was the last time the Seahawks won 3 straight games. Back up to you.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. And I thought that was interesting what Coach Holmgren said about we can't take sacks when we're down near the red zone. And we thought that Mike had given him a couple words of advice when he came to the sidelines there, and indeed he did.
I think he's telling him to unload the ball. They're playing a pressure defense. They're doing quite a bit of blitzing. You don't have the luxury of waiting around. Know who you're going to, or get rid of it now. And everything he said was full of that halftime wisdom. Our special teams have to play better. We can't turn the ball over. It's coach talk, but it's right.
I tell you what, Mike Holmgren has a plan. And, you know, I would like to see him retain all of those duties he's got right now, because it looks as though he's starting to get things in place. It'll be exciting to see what happens. This will be Tim Dwight. Dwight trent back upfield. Now he's going to go inside. And there he goes across the 30-yard line. And Dwight's one of those guys that's got a shot to break it every time, or at least he makes you feel like he does.
He sure does. He's explosive. He comes back up the field like he plans to score.
A quick look at the halftime numbers. Passing yards obviously big for Matt Hasselbeck and the Seahawks.
2 great runners in this game. Neither has piled up very impressive yardage. Alexander for the Seahawks or Tomlinson. Both of them are on course for maybe about 100 yards for the team in the game. That's not very much.
As we mentioned earlier, Tomlinson chasing the NFL rushing record. Ricky Williams currently holds it. He's a ways from that, mainly because of that reason there. The Seahawks defense, who comes into the game not playing very well in rush defense at all, has been very good thus far today.
They have committed themselves to the idea of stopping the run. And I think what is being missed, however, the Seahawks ranked last in the league, but during the first part of the year, they were giving up an average of 170 yards a game. In the last 7 games, they've only given up an average of 108 yards a game. Considerable improvement.
Seahawks have already given up 1 big record to Emmitt Smith this year. I'm sure they don't want to give up another one. Brees going deep to Alexander. Alexander has got another one, and he's out of bounds. A big play as we kick off here in the second half.
Well, they had Alexander one-on-one against Anthony Simmons on it. It was a perfectly thrown ball to lay it in there. Simmons actually doing a good job at coverage. Look at a perfectly placed ball by Drew Brees. And again, he's operating behind a banged up line, so it's even more difficult to accomplish what he is accomplishing.
Tomlinson in motion, the quick toss. Now they're going to throw the pass. Caldwell won't let it go. Finally does, and it's complete, but we've got flags down.
I'm not sure that was a lateral pass either on the line of scrimmage. Yeah. That may have been a forward pass, which doesn't allow him to throw.
But the flags are in the Seattle Seahawks defensive backfield area.
Yes, they're not in the air.
Holding. Number 24 defense prior to the pass. Penalty is declined. First down.
They got Sean Springs again.
That's a great way to say. I've always felt that that first series of the third quarter is such a vital one.
You know what? That's actually a smart move there by Springs. Not to interrupt you, Coach.
No,
that was.
He interrupted Dwight. You can interrupt me.
Springs was beaten on that play. Breeze will go down. John Randall in on the hit along with Cochran.
You know, Tim Dwight caught that pass, put him down here in scoring territory, and I think something that's not really well remembered in that huge trade which allowed Atlanta to draft Michael Vick, the trade they made with the Chargers. The Chargers picked up Tomlinson and Drew Brees. They insisted that Tim Dwight be included in the trade. They wouldn't make it without him. And John Butler had such high regard for him, rightly so. There is one astute general manager, one of the very best in this league.
Loss of 8. Breeze again. Tomlinson, he danced his way out of that constriction and then gets unloaded on by Ken Lucas. A nice pickup, a nice play, and a nice hit. That was just good football all the way around. Pickup of 12.
San Diego getting a rhythm, and again I say doing it with a banged up offensive line. You'd say the incentive to play hard has left them because they're out of the playoffs, but they want to go home with that winning record, no question. If they win this one, they're 9-7. If they don't, break-even season. Not satisfied with that.
Spread formation for the Chargers, going to the end zone. This could be intercepted. Ken Lucas intended for Richey Caldwell. I'm surprised Lucas didn't come down with that.
So am I, and that's what you heard me give that oh there. I thought Lucas had him. Here he is, covering man-to-man.
Great job
on Jackson. Jackson does a good job of helping to break it up, but I thought Lucas had it in his grasp. But to hold him to a field goal makes a big difference.
This will be 29 yards out for Christie, and it's good. Chargers score right off the bat here in the second half. We'll see the Seahawks offense next.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Back here in San Diego, Ken Lucas came up really big in that drive.
I've liked the way this young man has played, Ron. We studied a lot of video on him, and he's into it, the kind of guy that studies, works hard on his techniques. Wow, good.
Great coverage, short kick, which helps the coverage. Evans got about 7. Right now, let's head up to L.A. James Brown standing by with this update.
Ron and the Hall of Famer take a look. Opening drive of the third period. Curtis Morgan capping a 60-yard drive by the Jets with that 5-yard touchdown run. We know if the Jets win, they are the AFC East titleists. They lead at 21-10, that in the third. Back to Ron and the coach.
Thank you very much, JB.
See a big weekend in New York if the Jets hang on. Giants and Jets.
New York would be the place to hang out this weekend, especially with New Year's coming. No hanging out here in the pocket. Hasselbeck will go down. Leonardo Carson.
Excuse me for interrupting, Ron, but we were talking at halftime, commenting how Mike Holgram said you can't take those sacks, and we start right off first play with one of them.
A loss of 5.
Here we see he starts to pump. He can't find his open man. He doesn't want to throw an interception. Hangs on too long. Leonardo Carson comes around and applies another sack. Puts you in a difficult second down situation.
2nd and 15. Here comes the safety blitz. Rodney Harrison, 37's on the line. Donnie Edwards is coming through. Alexander gets away from him, and he's still going. Nice run by Sean Alexander. McNeil saves possibly the touchdown, but not after 15 yards.
That was a magnificent effort by Alexander. I tell you, everything is clogged up. He starts to head up inside, as you can see on this. Nowhere to go. Bounces, and now he turns it on, shakes off a tackler, and nearly, as you say, goes all the way. Ryan McNeil saves them from a huge gain. 3rd and inches. Key down.
And the Chargers defense has been in this position before, last week against Kansas City. They pounded inside to Max Strong. I think Strong got it.
Yeah, I don't even think they need a measurement on this one. Max Strong looked strong on that one.
Well, Coach, we mentioned earlier the rather interesting language in Seattle Seahawks quarterback Matt Hasselbeck's contract. He needs to finish in the NFL's top 15 in 3 quarterback categories to earn more money for next year's contract. And he just has to finish in the top 15 in at least one of the 3: quarterback rating, completion percentage, or touchdown passes.
I'm having a hard enough time figuring out the playoff combinations without wrestling with that one.
1st and 10, no problem here. And that's Atula Mealy, and Mealy breaks a record on that catch. He has broken the team record for catches by a tight end in a season set back in 1976 by Ron Howard. Congratulations, and more on that, what we're talking about with Matt Hasselbeck. Those are the 3 categories. Quarterback rating, that's where he's listed now. Completion percentage, so he's got that one okay. And that's how the money changes depending on his finish.
That's wilder than the Powerball lottery productions.
That's what I call creative contract. Alexander, he got 2.
That's an important 2 because it moves those chains.
That man there, Donnie Edwards. When a coach comes out and says, I made a mistake, like Dick Vermeil did last week regarding letting Donnie Edwards get away from Kansas City last year, you know the guy must be a special player.
Well, he must be, and I admire Dick Vermeil because everybody in the world makes some mistakes, and if you do, you admit them and move on from there.
Absolutely. Alexander moves on across the 40-yard line.
He's starting to get a little bit of a rhythm now, Alexander. Starting to like it, starting to enjoy it. I've always felt as a coach, what happens after a score on the next series is so vitally important to taking control of the momentum of the game. If you can score and then shut your opponent down, boy, you really got it. But if they come right back, whole complexion changes.
Look at Alexander's numbers there. He picked up 6 on that play. They'll pound it to him again. Nice tackle. Marino, outside linebacker, stepping in today for the injured Junior Seau, comes up with the play. And I thought it was interesting what Junior Seau told us yesterday. He said, I feel like a one-legged coconut.
That's what he said.
Bone chips in the ankle. He hasn't been able to practice the last 6 weeks, and finally he just had to shut it down.
He said that. He said, I'm not as effective as I want to be. He wants to play bad. He has still 13 years in the league. Fantastic enthusiasm for the game that he reflected in our discussions with him.
3rd and 1. Strong and Evans, full house backfield. This will be Strong, and Strong, well, it'll all go down to the spot.
It was the 2nd, 3rd, and very short yardage situation on this possession.
Meanwhile, how do they spot it when Keith Lyle had the football? This is interesting.
Well, the official has to run in and say it was there. I know it was there, and that's where it's going to be.
It's there underneath those 22 guys somewhere.
That's right. It looks to me like they made it. But, oh, very close, very close.
Boy, it looks from that angle.
San Diego's saying, not again now.
Like
not
he's got
again.
it, but you never know.
You're right. Oh,
he does.
They got it by 3 times as much as they did last week. They got it by 3 inches this time instead of 1. By they, I mean the Chargers' opponents. Chargers doing a considerable amount of situation substitution according to the down and yardage and the personnel packages the Seahawks have.
Nowhere to go for Hasselbeck. He drops it off. We've also got a flag dropped off. That was Alexander. It's thrown in the area of holding.
That's what it looks when you see that at that time. Count on it.
Referee Bill Levy, he's been rather busy today.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 70, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's right guard Jerry Wunsch, who was signed late August.
Jerry Wunsch called for holding on this play at right guard. Right on number 96. Let's take a look. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think that's a I'm going to throw my flag type of call. Too many flags. Let them play more. My opinion. Very opinionated, but that's it.
Very good opinion. Seattle Seahawks 6 penalties for 50 yards in offense. Ingram, he tries to dance and get closer, but he only got one before being brought down by Donnie Edwards.
Fine play by Donnie Edwards. I see what Dick Vermeil meant. Donnie Edwards has been a tremendous boon to the defense of these Chargers in a year where they haven't had overall great defensive play.
Donnie Edwards, no Pro Bowl. He was listed as a second alternate to the Pro Bowl. Look at the current drive. Second and a bunch. Going to the deep out. Hasselbeck isn't even close. Darrell Jackson was the intended receiver. And Walter Jones, speaking of Pro Bowls, they say he's a great tackle. And you know what? They're right, because he held out a training camp. Coach came in, missed one game, and he's still going to the Pro Bowl, as you see the list here.
Yeah, he's magnificent. Junior Seau going, standing there on the sideline as we take a look at it. And of course, LaDainian Tomlinson. Sean Alexander would have been a great selection, but can only take so many people.
11th play of the drive for Seattle. He's got the tight end across the middle. He hits him. Mealy gets calf roped and brought down by the smaller Alex Molden. Alex Molden, 5'10", 190 pounds, just kind of rounded up Mealy at over 260.
Here's a tough situation. It's third down. You're on the 37. However, you got a lot of yardage to go. Too far for a field goal. So I think they're sending in their punt team.
Look at the aggression the Chargers defense is playing with.
They are. They're playing very inspired. Zeke Marino, who's had to step in for Junior Seau, turning in a very creditable performance.
Just took a quick look at the record there. Mealy broke a few plays earlier.
On both wideouts now, they're being doubled, or they were at least initially, trying to keep them from getting downfield or down the ball before it gets in the end zone.
Eagles shoots this one high. I don't know if he's going to get the love he wants. He almost kicked it into the ocean. 37-yard punt. So the Chargers will take over. Back here in San Diego, Ron Pitts, Marv Levy. And that's a pretty nice shot of a group of receivers that, if you want to talk about the future of this team, I think it's all right there.
Yes, it is. Bobby Ingram, number 84, has those two young receivers with him, and he's talking with them every moment about how to get better and what to be aware of.
Tomlinson inside. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Let's head back up to Los Angeles. James Brown.
Hey, Ron, you talked about the future of that team. Well, the future for the Jets looks like it's going to be AFC East titleist. Chad Pennington hooking up with Santana Moss. 13 yards to pay dirt. It is now an 18-point lead by the Jets. They're on their way back to Ron and Marv.
Thank you very much, JB. Coach, my goal in life, one of my goals in life is to be as well-dressed as James Brown is in that studio. It's going to take some time, but I'll get there one day.
Well, we better get you some advice. Oh.
No advice needed for Steven Alexander. He's out across the 50-yard line, and Alexander has been big all day.
Well, you look dapper to me, and he looked dapper on that play, Ron. Alexander's been coming through big, and we talked about earlier in the game when he dropped the pass and went offside. Don't go into yourself. Keep plugging, keep playing hard, and he's certainly doing that and coming up with some very meaningful plays right now.
And yes, you have to ask yourself, where is the help inside? Where are the linebackers? Remember, this linebacking core is missing Chad Brown.
And Isaiah Kaczynski was another highly rated young linebacker that they like.
Breeze will dump this one out to Tomlinson. He'll put a move on somebody. He tried to, didn't get much luck. That was Orlando Huff, and he pushes Tomlinson out of bounds after a pickup of 4.
You know, this is an important drive by the Chargers after the Seahawks moved deep into their territory to be able to move the ball back, take time off the clock. Time's not a vital thing yet in the game, but regain field position, regain confidence. This is a big, vital drive.
Marty shot Niner there. Down and 6. Complete. Caldwell looking for the marker, and he has it.
There's a blitz off the offensive left side. Breeze read it and released the ball quickly to a receiver in the area vacated by the blitzers on that left side. Watch over in this area. The blitz keep coming. Here they come. People there. So the area is vacated of defenders. Breeze dumps it off to Rashae Caldwell. Keep the chains moving. Very good read by them. And they did a pretty good job of picking it up. Their backs did. Tomlinson.
That's a fresh set of downs for the Chargers. McCrary sets up in the backfield. He'll stay in for protection. Breeze looked deep, came back short. Guess who? The tight end again, Alexander. And coach, this team, as we've mentioned before, started out 6-1. I mean, people here in the San Diego area were all but ready to get their tickets ready for the Super Bowl appearance right here in their home stadium, and then something happened.
Yeah, this has plagued them over the years, where they've had late season fades. They're having a much better season than some of the previous ones. And he asked Marty, why does that happen? He says, I don't know. We're going to study it. We're going to find out. There is no easy, quick, off-the-cuff answer, or you'd be doing it.
Tomlinson has run into a brick wall all day long. Orlando Huff inside makes the initial hit.
They are pressuring and to stop the running game. As a result, Breeze is having some success, and so are his receivers against the pass defense.
Getting back to Marty Schottenheimer, he told us the other day, you know, I was surprised that we didn't turn the corner. You know, you get 6-1, you get that good start. But as a veteran coach, I'm sure he knew that, hey guys, things don't really start happening till around November.
Yeah, that's true. He was surprised. He had high expectancies. He felt there were some very good players. There's one of them right there, by the way, on this team. And he thought things would get better.
Timeout by San Diego. We'll see what they're talking about when we come back. Back here in San Diego, the Chargers 13, the Seahawks 7. We can't keep from talking about that playoff picture. Keep tabs on that Green Bay Jets game. If Green Bay loses, a lot of people don't realize the Eagles will in turn have home field advantage. They'll get it back throughout the playoffs. Quick toss, Tomlinson. He had a crease. The crease closed up. Boy, if you were looking at this game for the first time, or watching this team for the first time today, you would think that Tomlinson hasn't run very often.
You would think so, but I know better, and so do you.
That's right.
And you have to commit an awful lot to stop him, as I've already pointed out. And they're giving up yardage grudgingly via the pass, but are behind.
And he looks a little frustrated. And there is that Green Bay Jets score. Tomlinson told us yesterday that I'm going to keep an eye on Ricky Williams going down to the game. I want that title. And this one's way out of his reach. That NFC playoff picture as it stands right now. The wild card leaders, Atlanta. They're in with the Giants. And as we just mentioned, Green Bay loses. Philadelphia, they will have home field, and that's big for warm weather teams that may have to go up there.
Well, beyond that, Green Bay would not have a bye in the first round if they lose this game, and Tampa Bay also wins.
3rd and 12, a man wide open. Parker, touchdown, Chargers. 31 yards on the strike from Drew Brees.
That's part of the reason why they're stopping Tomlinson. They're committing so many to the line of scrimmage that you're getting a lot of single ups over there. Brees doing a good job of reading it. The isolation out there. Lucas tries to hit him, misses badly, and it's all you got to do now is hit him and catch it.
And the mistake Lucas made there is he went after him. He lunged. You can't lunge, because if you miss, that's what happens. You're toast. Chargers trying to end this season with a big bolt of electricity.
Eric Parker, Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, this guy practices every single play like it's game day, and it paid off for him. Here's a free agent lad, 172 pounds. He was somewhere else first, was cut. They picked him up as a free agent. He came up with a huge play. They try an onside kick.
And that ball didn't go the full 10.
There'll be a 5-yard.
In fact, Coach, I have never seen a ball boomerang like that. It came around and went the other way.
I've been looking at him a lot longer than you, and neither have I, Ron. Never saw one come back like that.
Unbelievable.
Did it go out of bounds?
It did go out of bounds.
In that case, there's no way for...
Or a Charger player hit it out of bounds.
Short free kick that did not go 10 yards. By rule, 5-yard penalty against the kicking team, and we have to re-kick.
Right.
Well, that's a break for the Chargers that it went out of bounds.
That ball was unbelievable. And Steve Christie really put the leg to this one.
That was unique. Steve played for us in Buffalo, and I never saw him kick one like that.
That ball started to come back upfield. Wow.
That's a huge break for the Chargers. Now they get the kick off. Normally they're trying a huge, took a big chance with an onside kick then when they had all the momentum. Could have swung against them had the Seahawks come up with the ball. Nevertheless, you take chances sometime, and they're very fortunate they get to truly kick off now.
Not to mention that now they've shown their hand. And it's funny because the Seahawks aren't lined up in any kind of onside prevent play.
I don't think they expect it now. They didn't expect it last time either, but I think they're almost certain it would not occur now.
This will be Evans. Evans has had his share of returns today. He gets this one out across the 35. And that's where the Seattle Seahawks offense will take over. From the San Diego Zoo to the Charger faithful, still hanging in. No playoff hopes, but they're still playing. And this guy has been playing all day. He set a record earlier for catches in a single season by a tight end, Atula Mealy, and this is the onside kick.
Yeah, notice only 4 men up front. Almost all teams have 5 up front. I think the Chargers in game planning said, if they have only 4 up there, let's take a chance. We got a bunch going against a thinned out group ready to drop back and block. So there is reason why someone does that in your scouting procedures.
2nd down and 1. Alexander, he's close. Right now, let's go to James Brown up in Los Angeles.
Ron and Coach, take a look. Brett Favre had his team in scoring position, drops back looking for Javon Walker, throws and is picked off by Sam Barnes, who returns it 65 yards for the Jets, and the Jets capitalize as Chad Pennington hooks up with Wayne Corbett 18 yards. It is now 35-10 Jets. They look like the AFC East title is back to Ron and Marv.
Thank you very much, JB. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. We head to number 4 here in San Diego. San Diego, Ron Pitts, Marv Levy, and I guess whatever way you want to do the math, do it.
If they have to add 4 victories each year, they'll have to win 13 next year, providing they can prevail in this game.
Hasselbeck complete. Atula Mealy. Mealy's going to run. Mealy might score. He's down to the 1. The ball is ripped out of his hands by Keith Lyle. Let's see what they call it. A flag is down as well. What a crazy play.
Well, they are stacking to stop the run. They're a weak pass defense team to begin with, and Seattle to win is going to have to win through the air primarily.
The preliminary call by referee Bill Levy is a face mask against San Diego.
That'll be about a half-yard penalty here because it'll be half distance of the goal.
Personal foul, face mask, number 35 defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Wow.
Well, that's grabbing the face mask in this instance might have saved him from getting into the end zone. Now,
and there it is. That is a correct call.
That is correct.
Somehow, Lyle rips the ball out at the same time he grabbed the face mask. So in short, it's 1st and goal for the Seahawks. Alexander fights, drives, trying to push ahead for 2, and he won't get much.
This is always a tough call, Ron. It's like a 2nd and 1 or 1.5 when you didn't do it. Do you throw? And now it's really tough if it's incomplete, or you do the predictable and run. Most of the time, I'd still run the ball 2nd and 2. Not all the time, but most of the time.
And then where do you run?
To the biggest hole.
To the biggest hole. 2nd and goal. Alexander. He's got it again. There's the hole, and there's the touchdown. Seahawks back on the board. So you were right, Coach. They gave it again to Alexander, and he ran to exactly where you said, the biggest hole.
Biggest hole, and if they convert the point, they're certainly right back in the game with most of the quarter still remaining, and with a very devastating passing attack. But
he went right over the left side of Walter Jones, the Pro Bowler, Chris Gray, and Toback, the center. This will be Lendell. He'll shoot for 1 more, and he's got it. And we still got a good game. Back here in San Diego, Ron Pitts, Marv Levy. Seattle Seahawks closing the gap. That last scoring drive, 5 plays, 63 yards. And they did it in 2 minutes. Alexander went over the left side and added some points. Tim Dwight is deep. Dwight will take this at the 7-yard line. And he trips on a blade of grass at the 23. The big news this television season is that America's #1 pregame show is taking its act to prime time. That's right. On Saturday, January 18th, it's Fox NFL Saturday Night. JB, Terry, Howie, Jimmy, along with the rest of the gang, they will be there. They'll be cutting up, having a good old time. It's Fox NFL Saturday Night, January 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific only on Fox. Coach, that'll be something to watch. Get yourself a bag of popcorn and something to drink.
I sure will.
Get ready to laugh.
I'm going to see how well James Brown is dressed, because that's your idol. And
impeccably.
And I'm going to hope I can comb my hair as well as Jimmy Johnson.
All right. That throw.
That was just a don't get sacked throw. Don't get sacked is what he was doing there, and wisely so.
How about John Randall? Chad Eaton came into the meeting room last night and said, you know, John Randall, he's heard about everything come out of his mouth.
Yeah, he's an actor, and that's fine. He plays at high intensity. He was hurt most of the year. he's helped the run defense of the Seahawks by getting healthy again here late in the year. The return of Anthony Simmons, as we pointed out, those two factors have made their defense better than it was earlier in the year. They still need to get a lot better.
Breeze unloads, complete. Norman has been active today. And if you're Josh Norman, you've done well for yourself today. Coming into this game, he only had 12 catches. He's done well.
He has. He's a tight end. I understand he was a wide receiver in college. He was another guy who impressed me as I observed practice at the Charger facility earlier this week. He was really into it, and he begins to rise. And I'll tell you, tight ends, we talked about earlier, are hard to find. They have to block and they have to catch.
The good ones, anyways. Tomlinson looking to bust out. He's been held in check all day long. Chad Eaton brings him down.
Kelvin Garman, left guard, is going against Randall right here. Where is Garman? Right in here. Blocking on Randall. Looks like a hold on Randall is what it looks like to me. But that's quite a matchup.
Everybody was holding. And we've got a couple injured players down. We'll get back and check on those guys when we come back.
Take a look here at Orlando Huff, number 57 of the Chargers, as he goes down. As Chad Eaton behind him, that left arm hits, it gets caught under, and he appeared to be in considerable pain. He's being attended to now out on the field, and very extended elbow, either a dislocation, it could be a broken arm. I don't want to speculate on something maybe didn't occur, but he's considerable pain, and they're attending to him.
You hate to see guys go down in any situation, and then you really hate to see them go down in the last game of the season. You know that guys want to play hard, finish out strong, but you don't want to get hurt on the plane home.
Yeah, last game of the season, and guy, when it is over, he wants to go home and be able to take a brief rest and go back, start conditioning himself for the other year, and not spend the whole time in rehab.
And Orlando Huff is a guy that this team, looking down the road, is going to need. When you look at the injuries they had this year, you never know how injuries are going to turn out when it comes back time to ready to play. Back to training camp and that whole situation. Isaiah Kazavinsky, he was inside, injured midway through the season. On the other side, Chad Brown, same situation.
Absolutely, and it always seems to take place at one position, a whole bevy of injuries. And both of these teams are teams which primarily, in an overview, need to get better defensively next year. They've got some good offensive weapons. I still think the Chargers need to improve their receiving core, but they need to get better on defense. Right now, the important thing is how badly injured is this young man. You hope it isn't as serious as maybe it looks right now.
We're going to step away for a second and head north one more time here to James Brown in Los Angeles for this update.
Hey, Ron and Coach, take a look. Steve Berline and the Denver Broncos play action, hooking up with Rod Smith, 10-yard strike for a 29-7 lead is what it's going to be, pending an extra point. Over 200 yards rushing by Clinton Portis, simply sensational. And Ron, if you were looking for sartorial splendor, I want to be Adonis like you. Sit up, baby, sit-ups. Ron and Coach.
JB, all right, man, thank you very much. Good news there. At least Orlando Huff is up and walking off under his own power. We realized the arm was involved, but whenever you can walk off the field, Coach,
that's true.
It's always good.
That's true, and I don't want to make wild guesses at what happened, but sometimes if you get a dislocated elbow, it can look terrible, and once it's reduced, at least the fears that you held begin to diminish.
Tomlinson will take it out of the eye, knocked down immediately, and I got to tell you, Chad Brown isn't in the game, Kazavinsky isn't in the game, but this defense has shut down the run game of LaDainian Tomlinson.
They have done that. They know they have been a very vulnerable run defense team. They're going to take some risks, and it's hurt them on pass defense, but they've made up their mind. Our best chance is to stop LaDainian Tomlinson.
3rd and 4. Quick fire to Alexander. Alexander has the first down, then 2 more. And Alexander has just been too open all day long.
Well, as I said, they're going to take some chances on pass defense. Hope they can get to Breeze. Hope that Breeze, a young quarterback, won't be able to read as well as he has read what is happening defensively. And this is a signal game for Drew Brees, I think, as he begins to feel comfortable in exploiting a blitzing, forcing type of defense.
Rolls out, sets up, throws back inside. That's complete again. Norman. Josh Norman, the rookie, has another catch. And Drew Brees told us the other day, if I've got one goal, it's not to go to the Pro Bowl and get huge stats or get huge stats. It's for this team to go to the playoffs at least once in my career.
Yes, he did say that. He said it's Super Bowl, not Pro Bowl, which really is important, and he is right.
Pickup of 19 by Norman.
Very well conceived play. He rolled right and threw back to Norman, who came to the right side all the way across the field to the left. Pulled the whole defense with him to the right, threw back left.
Justin Peele, 84, sets up in the backfield. They try to dump it out to Tomlinson. It's incomplete.
The Chargers do make use of all of their tight ends. They play all 4 of them. They're playing Justin Peele, all 3 of them. They're playing Justin Peele and Josh Norman along with Steven Alexander, and they're really utilizing them. They don't have enough wide receivers. You can make them the high-level focal point, particularly with Conway out of the lineup.
And Breeze has had a Jekyll and Hyde first and second half. Right now, currently 23 of 38 for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chalk up 1 more completion and a first down. Eric Parker. And Eric Parker was robbed of a touchdown. A lot of people here in the San Diego area feel last week against Kansas City. Came down with what looked like an apparent touchdown in the end zone, but they said he didn't have possession. That was a pickup of 12.
There's a very readable, isolated one-on-one coverage against Parker, and they coordinated well. Parker started downfield, stopped, got the hitch, swiveled, and picked up the yardage, enough for a first down.
And that's the kind of drive you want to put up, especially when you're ahead and trying to run the clock. Breeze to the outside. That's complete to Tim Dwight, and Dwight rolls out of bounds at about the 9-yard line.
Chargers had what we call a cluster to the left. There were 3 receivers. Dwight started in motion, and you don't know where any of the 3 are going. Dwight started in, broke back to the outside. Breeze found him. Isn't a big gain, but it certainly gets it a lot closer to that first down and inside the 10-yard line.
Dwight picked up 7. Make it 2nd and 3. Breeze looking outside, comes back inside with the pump fake, going to the end zone. Intended for Eric Parker, but it's incomplete. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines. Brent Riggenbach has this update.
Yeah, Orlando Huff is going to leave the game. He's out with a dislocated right elbow. They're only 2 deep at the middle linebacker position. Keith Miller, who the Seahawks cut at the beginning of the season, is now playing middle linebacker. Ron, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Brent. And Coach, you're exactly right.
Well, he did have a dislocated elbow. The way he got up and walked off, as I say, when you first get one of those, they look awful, and they are.
And they feel awful.
Yeah, they feel awful. But once it's reduced, many of the fears say, oh, okay, gee, it's not going to be deformed.
3rd and 3. Looking for the end zone for Alexander. Are there flags? Yes.
Pass interference. Number 25 defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
If a receiver slows down or stumbles and the man covering him bumps into him. Out comes the flag. You know.
Yeah, I believe Bill Levy said the wrong player there. That's 29, Fuller.
Yes. Curtis Fuller.
Unless there was contact earlier that we couldn't see. First and goal. Tomlinson will be denied. Keith Miller, who Brent Ringenbach just mentioned, will step in at that middle linebacking position, was in on the stop.
They are thin at linebacker. You've mentioned all of them they've lost, and now Keith Miller is in there. Came up with a play which is very meaningful for them.
No gain. Second and goal. Norman in motion. Play action fake to Tomlinson. Throw complete to McCreary. Touchdown Chargers.
Well, the Chargers answered that challenge after the Seahawks got right back in the game. Next possession, great drive down the field for a score.
Hey, Coach, it's amazing. You look at this stadium, it's nearly full, and these people are up on their feet. You would think that their playoff hopes are alive and well.
You would think so. It's great to see. Great fans, full house up there and helping them celebrate.
And that wasn't the Texas Longhorn sign that Marty Schottenheimer was giving. He's signaling going for 2. 12-play drive, 73 yards, and they ran off 5:22.
I think 2 is the correct call, no question here. If you connect, you're up by 2 converted touchdowns. If you don't, 2 converted touchdowns would beat you, even if you had kicked it. So, if you can figure out what I just said, more power to you. He's doing the right thing, in other words.
Breeze inside, complete, 2-point conversion. Riche Caldwell. We're back in San Diego. The Chargers have added to their lead. This will be Heath Evans all the way from 2 yards deep. He gets bounced around and he'll settle out near the 20. Well, next week, the NFL second season starts with round 1 of the NFL playoffs. Fox style, the San Francisco 49ers host their first playoff game in 4 years against either the New York Giants or the Atlanta Falcons. Coverage will begin next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. Another look at that scoring drive. And there's a flag down. And they're lining up. I guess we'll do this again. And Heath Evans didn't know it, Coach, but he's a return man. He thought he was a fullback. He's actually a return man.
That's where he is now.
It's in his contract.
An offside on the kickoff really is inexcusable. when we practice them, Ron, we told them do not stay behind the line. We used a 1 yard from the restraining line target for our coverage. Yes, you're giving up a yard, but you're also assuring yourself of not stepping across the restraining line.
No, Coach, I can remember you being very vocal about that. That's one of those knucklehead penalties.
So that's it. Don't be dumb, don't be dirty. Was the best motto I can think of. Again, there with those 4 men along the front, the Seahawks are, but I'm sure they're not anticipating any onside kick from the Chargers now.
Does it surprise you that the Seahawks don't put 2 speedsters back deep?
Yes.
This is Williams. Williams makes a move, another nice move. He's out across the 40 before he's knocked out of bounds. The ball comes out, but he's well out of bounds. Well, a return of 39.
That penalty cost them about 30 yards. I mean, no, 20 yards. 20 yards. Well, it would have been about the 19-yard line. And where they putting it now at the 42. What's my math? Let me see. Carry the one. All the above. 23 yards is what it costs them on that.
Very good. Carry the one.
But whatever you do.
We'll get you a slide rule here. Hasselbeck looking deep. Comes short. Jackson has it. He's out across the 50 and run out of bounds. Let's go to James Brown in Los Angeles for this game break.
Hey, Ron and Coach, a big day by Clinton Portis. Take a look at his 12-yard touchdown run. His second of the day, Ron. 17 on the season, Coach. He's got 228 yards for the game. He has outgained the entire Cardinal team. Back to Ron and Coach.
And the most important part about that, Coach, is that I just got some more fantasy league points.
Well, that's very good.
Let you know that.
You know, people say, oh, they're out of the playoffs. They don't have incentive. That's not the way in the National Football League. Every snap you play up to the limit of your ability.
And I'll tell you what, these two teams are playing like they're in the playoffs, even though they're not today. And that playoff picture, again, looks like this. AFC. The three division leaders, they are in. The wild cards and still alive. Jets, New England, and Miami.
Well, New England is barely alive with the lead that the Jets have right now, because if the Jets do win,
technically they're alive.
Technically, yes.
Pump and go. They're looking to go deep. It's not there. They come underneath. Looks like Stevens, the rookie, tied in. There's a quick rehash. The Jets win. Cleveland will get the wild card. The Jets would get the AFC East title. And New England would get the title if the Jets lose. This is complete melee. Mealy's out inside the 20.
That was unique, Ron. They did blitz to try and force the run, to keep putting pressure on, but they didn't play the normal man-type coverage you get when you do blitz. They drop deep so as not to get hit with the bomb.
Pickup of 16, and the Seattle Seahawks offense, 310 yards passing by the offense, breaks the team's single-season record of 3,959 yards set back in 1997. And that ball is complete to Robinson. Let's see if he's in. He's in. And you talk about no quit. The Seahawks come right down the field and put points on the board.
I'd say that combination is going to be a well remembered one before their careers are over. Hasselbeck to this corner, Robinson, tremendously impressive.
Look at that catch. Corn, Robinson. And he got a hip in. One knee, one rear end will equal 2 feet.
One of everything
One of everything will equal 2 of something else. And Lindell will only get one of these if he puts it through. And so the crowd is quieted down here. And what feels like a playoff atmosphere, the boys are still playing. We're back here in San Diego. Corn Robinson getting the troops fired up. He's 75 yards away from setting a Seahawks single-season receiving record. He would beat Steve Largent. Marvin Harrison, he ends the season with 143 catches on the season, shattering Herman Moore's old record. And speaking of Marvin Harrison, as we're talking, 143 catches.
A remarkable performance by this guy. All he did was catch the ball. He didn't get any shows before or after, but boy, when he was in play, he was the best receiver. He not only had the best catch, he was the best receiver in the league this year. And
he loves tasty cakes. Sent from the folks in Philadelphia, his hometown.
Now there's a bit of trivia I never knew.
That's right. They don't sell tasty cakes out here on the West Coast, but if you're from back east, you know about tasty cakes. 1st and 10, Breeze. They're going to keep on throwing it. Why not? Tim Dwight. He hooks up over the middle. He got 7.
They're still deploying their defense to say, we're not going to let you run Tomlinson and burn the clock. Go ahead and throw if you want. We hope there's a tipped ball that we pick up, something like that. It's their plan, and that's the one they're going to stick with, and you should not just constantly jump around and what your plan is if 1 or 2 plays go against you.
Jets pouring it on the Green Bay Packers. Bump and run coverage everywhere. The quick slant denied by Sean Springs. The crowd wants a penalty. They won't get it. Now they're saying that this is an interception.
I didn't see that ball hit the ground. Maybe
and Sean Springs doesn't believe it hit the ground either.
Well, apparently it did. It's certainly being ruled as an incompletion.
It's funny, no one has gone back to the huddle, and they're just standing
Let's
there.
take a look.
Yep.
I saw it hit the ground now. It did hit the ground.
When in doubt, run to the end zone. And the Chargers they're going to have to hurry to get this play off. They won't get it off. Well, Coach, if you're Mike Holmgren, where are your need areas for next year?
Start with defense. Very obvious. Even though he gets some of them back from those injuries, you're never sure how much you will get back. But he definitely will start with defense, and he needs some more depth at running back, in my opinion. He has a fine one in Sean Alexander right now.
Right. Mike Holmgren trying to keep the guys back. Matt Hasselbeck got vocal about that last play.
Well, Hasselbeck saw it like I did. He thought it did not hit the ground for a while.
And Marty Schottenheimer said something to us the other day that was really interesting. He pointed at you and said, Coach, there will never be another team that dominates the AFC like you did, because it's just not systematically possible anymore with free agency, salary cap issues, etc.
That's right. He feels that to stay up there, you can't do it. You can't retain those good players that long. You're going to lose your very strong backups to other teams, and then you get an injury and you go down the tubes. And I agree with him.
3rd down and 3. That cluster formation you talked about earlier. Coach Norman goes out in fly motion. They're trying to throw the outside. They get it complete. Alexander bucks his way to another Charger 1st down.
Now, that was well covered, but the routes were good, the timing was good, the delivery was good, and the catch was good. Execution. You always keep hearing that from coaches. It's not the scheme, it's how well you execute it, and they executed it very well to get the short gain they needed.
You know, Coach, I hear so many coaches in the league talk about finishing strong because that last game carries over more than people think. And you don't see any substitutions going on for either side here. The starters are still in the game.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people say, oh, gee, if they lose the game. Oh,
there goes Tomlinson. His first big run of the day. He's out across the 50. A pickup of 21 to match his number.
They say if you lose the game, well, you get a better draft choice. It doesn't make any difference whether you choose 8th or 12th, to tell you the truth. That hey, they picked Terrell Davis in the 7th round.
Well, that being said, Coach, and not that either team here is maybe in the hot market for a #1 quarterback, but when you look at quarterbacks, what do you look for as a head coach? What were some of the things that tipped your eye?
Well, you know, we'll talk about arm and athleticism and all of those things, but
Caldwell's out of bounds.
Work ethic, very important. The ability to make decisions, and I mean before the ball is snapped and after it's snapped, and the ability to make confidence rub off on your teammates. We had a quarterback who you know well in Buffalo who was great at that. He exuded confidence. He had reason to. But it's hard to know what you're looking for. Like great running backs, Tomlinson, the knock on him was he wasn't a receiver in college.
Right.
And yet he's their leading receiver. They just never threw to him a lot.
Two tight ends set for the Chargers. Freeze looking up the field. Knocked away beautifully by Curtis Fuller, number 29. Intended for Josh Norman.
And speaking of Tomlinson, back at Buffalo, we drafted a guy in the second round. And the reason he lasted in the second is he only caught 2 passes in his college career. His name was Thurman Thomas. And a coach of ours went out to scout him, a great coach of ours. I'll tell you who he was in a minute. Went out to scout him and came back and said, this is the best back there is. So we drafted Thurman. That coach, by the way, was a man named Elijah Pitts, your dad. What a great coach. What a great guy.
Thank you very much, Coach. He enjoyed going out there and self-scouting, so to speak, something a lot of coaches don't like doing. Breeze intended for Dwight, and it's knocked away. Sean Springs on the coverage. The playoff picture in the AFC should be complete right now, and this is what it looks like. The division winners, the wild card winners, the Colts and the Browns, and out of it, New England and Miami. How about Miami? That kind of year, Ricky Williams, all that running, and they struggled down the stretch, and their game is over. Bobby Ingram, he calls a fair catch on this one, 27-yard punt. And the thing that might have kept the Cleveland Browns season alive, Coach, is a little luck. They say you got to be good, but there's nothing wrong with being lucky too.
No, and it's something you practice. Last play of the game earlier in the year against the Eagles, I believe. Hail Mary to Quincy Adams against
Jacksonville.
Against Jacksonville, I take that back.
No time on the clock. Couch to Quincy Morgan. And hey, once you're in, anything can happen. Jacksonville did that one year, came up to Buffalo. Yeah. Got to win there, win somewhere else. Got to win all the way to the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. The crowd comes alive. This is complete to Bobby Ingram. And he's got a first down. He's out across the 20-yard line to the 25.
That Jacksonville uniform looked like an Eagle uniform to me, so.
That'll be marked officially at the 23-yard line.
Well, they'll have to put on a 95-yard drive here.
Hasselbeck, he took a shot there. He's slow to get up. Quick out again to Darrell Jackson. Jackson taunting the Charger sideline a little bit. He got 5. Quentin Jammer, we talked about him earlier, the first-round draft pick out of the University of Texas.
Long holdout also in training camp, which helped hinder his development, but he's come on very well, has great skills.
2nd and 5. Hasselbeck's in trouble. Somehow he gets it out. And if Alexander holds on to the ball, he's still running and I'm still talking.
You know, what happened on that play is an indication to me that Hasselbeck has great knowledge of the total pattern, where everybody is. As he started to run, he realized, you know, he knew the whole pattern. There's Alexander to the left, and he tried to shovel him the ball.
And Alexander is hurt. He stayed down there for a bit. I thought it was just disappointment over the pass, but they had to help him off. That is amazing that he got it out of there.
Yeah. Well, as he shovels the ball here and dives for it, he gets hit pretty hard.
He got
right there by Carson. Leonard Carson. Oh, I'll say he did. Lucky that leg that bent back under and didn't go.
3rd down and 5. Throw complete. That's Ingram. And Ingram is out of bounds.
That was a tougher catch than people realize that Bobby Ingram had to make. He had to reach way out in front of it, control it with his fingertips. And they keep having some interchange with the San Diego sideline, these receivers from San Diego.
That is a tough catch. Jammer was on the coverage. He was late. And Ingram could take Jammer to school if that matchup continues. First and 10. Going up top. They cut it off. A miscommunication in the route. Corin Robinson ran the comeback, but Hasselbeck threw the go.
Corn Robinson, as you just pointed out here, running a comeback. What happened, Hasselbeck expected an out, but Jammer had outside position
on him. It's a good thing he didn't run the go. We're looking to pick on the rookie, Quentin Jammer. He's at the bottom of the screen. Hasselbeck looks that way, shoots inside. Contact immediately. Rodney Harrison. Darrell Jackson was the intended receiver.
Another crucial third down now. They converted that 3rd and 5 a few moments ago. Too deep coverage.
Looking for Jackson, comes back inside. It's complete. What an ad-lib, Bobby Ingram. Now that may be a sign of maturity in Mike Holmgren's West Coast offense, to be able to come off one read it isn't there and go backside for a completion.
Ingram is really amazing in here, the way he reaches for the ball. We see it right there. Again, similar to the type of catch he made along the sideline on the previous 3rd down play.
That was just a great throw.
It was.
16-yard pickup. Mealy, he'll get it down to about the 36-yard line, but that'll be the 2-minute warning. Things are heating up. You talk about close. That stat says it all right there.
You know, yesterday Marty said it used to be in the 4th quarter you could feel comfortable and know what to do. Remember that, Ron, when we talked to him about it?
Right.
Now he said
not anymore.
Yeah.
And Matt Hasselbeck is having a day. 29 of 41 for 400 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Here comes the heat. Molden on the blitz from the cornerback position.
Unimpeded. No one picked him up. I think Hasselbeck was waiting for someone to break off a route into the area vacated by Molden, as we see right here. Untouched, no one even assigned to him. Hasselbeck was looking in the area Molden vacated. No receiver broke to it, as they're supposed to do. They call it sight adjustment. You adjust your pattern on what basis of what you see.
3rd sack today by the Charger defense. The injury update on Sean Alexander. A left high ankle sprain, and he is done for today. And that's a guy you want on the field in a 2-minute situation like this when you're driving.
You sure do. Great talent.
3rd and 11. Four vertical, no place to go. There goes Hasselbeck, and I believe he's just short, depending on where they mark it.
He went down.
And this is 4th down. He's going to have to get everybody lined up or call timeout.
He's got 3 of them. He's got 3 of them. He ought to use one. He ought to use one. They can confer on the type of play to use, all of the above. Should have called a timeout.
He doesn't use it. He's got 18 seconds on the play clock. Ingram is in the slot. He's been good in this situation. Ingram got jammed up, and there goes Hasselbeck, and he got the 1st down. What a play.
The clock continues to run, and they have 3. Now they called a timeout. They had 3 available to them.
Timeout, Seahawks.
Here's a replay of the play. Mike was angry at no timeout. Everything covered. Hasselbeck making a risky sprint, but he had no alternative, and this time he knew where the 1st down marker was.
You see the timeouts remaining for both teams.
They have 1 remaining. I said they had 3 remaining. They had 2. Now down to 1.
And Bobby Ingram has come up big, not only today, but in this drive, he's got 3 big catches.
And they have converted twice on 3rd and moderate yardage to go, or even 3rd and long, and once on 4th down. 3 conversions in the direst of situations.
Known as Mr. 3rd down around the league. And actually, Hasselbeck tried to go to him. That's why he had to pull it down and run. 4 wide receivers. 1 back in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Hasselbeck will run again. Here comes the heat. He'll go down. Wilson in on the initial hit. Clock moving at 41 seconds. He'll call a play.
Losing a lot of time on it.
Quick slant. Nobody covering.
Better use a timeout.
That's complete to James Williams. They're not going to. He'll have to clock this one.
Spike.
And he does. 19 seconds left. 1 timeout for the Seahawks. The play clock starts to run. A personnel change now for the Seahawks. They bring in 2 tight ends along with Evans, the fullback.
I don't know if they're aware that the play class they are. It looked to me like they were being very cavalier, but they're definitely aware.
They've got big people in the game. Empty backfield. Here's the throw. Robinson has it. Robinson slips down. He was headed for the end zone after he secured the catch, but very alertly got out of bounds.
Once he hit the ground, he was alert. Once he hit the ground, he knew, I better roll out,
right.
And he did it.
At first, I thought he was going to try to turn this up.
He fell out of bounds. Fell out of bounds is what he did.
Pickup of 12. 13 seconds left. Remember, the Seahawks still have a timeout in their pocket. Evans in motion. Looks inside, intended for Darrell Jackson, and there go the yellow flags. Quentin Jammer, the rookie, on the coverage.
Pass interference affects the outcome of more games than anything I know.
Number 59 defense. Penalty occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
First on the 1 with a timeout left. I'd run it. Call my timeout if I don't score.
Coach, you were right last time.
Well, yeah. You always got to be right the next time. That's the important one.
Hall of Fame opinion. That was right on. First and goal. 2 tights. The Chargers screaming timeout, and they get it. Leonardo Carson is hot. Apparently, they didn't have the right personnel on the field.
That's right. So they used their last time out, but they don't. Meaningless to save it.
Well, as we said earlier, on the left side of the line, you've got Walter Jones. He's the Pro Bowler. You've also got Chris Gray, Robbie Toback, the center. They went to that left side the last time they were down here with Sean Alexander and got paid. Sean Alexander is injured with a high ankle sprain. He left last series. So they don't have that option. No, they still have 2 big, strong, short yardage runners in Heath Evans and Max Strong, who they don't need to be nifty down here. Right. They just need a hole and somebody to run through it. This is crease and be tough. Get a little lucky, too, sometimes. Strong and Evans in the backfield. Play action. Looking for the tight end. Look for a Tula Mealy, and he was well covered. Now you can't run this one. Well, can you? Carlos Polk, 52 on the coverage. I'd be a little bit wary about running one with 5 seconds and think I can get my timeout in. Okay. I would not. It's too much of a risk that the 5 seconds would elapse. Boy, this is where the chess match starts. You saw the Chargers waited till the last minute to see what the personnel was going to be for the Seahawks. And they made their change. Warren Robinson and Daryl Jackson up top.
Watch the quarterback draw.
And there it is. And it's a touchdown, Seahawks.
When he emptied that backfield, I knew.
Coach, another Hall of Fame prediction. You're right. 2 times in a row. Watch the quarterback draw, and there it was.
Well, when he emptied the backfield, I know he's trying to get everybody out to cover, and why tell him you.
Well, now here we go. The Seahawks appear to be playing for the tie.
Yeah, it looks
now,
like.
does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think he figures we can beat him in overtime. That's
Lindell. And we're tied up with 1 second left. 28-28. And if you thought because these two teams were out of the playoffs that they would go through the motions, well, you were wrong.
Well, that 2-point conversion that Marty went for certainly leaves him so he's got a fighting chance to win this one. Otherwise, it would be over. Well, it wouldn't be over. There'd be a second left, but essentially it would be over.
Coach, you were right on. They emptied that backfield, and it wasn't even close.
I could see they're out covering all 5 guys, and that leaves it pretty thin defensively up front if you're willing to run with the quarterback.
Well, if you like this one, you'll love next week. It's the NFL's 2nd season, and it all starts right here on Fox with round 1 of the NFL playoffs. San Francisco 49ers. They host their first playoff game in 4 years. And they'll take on either the New York Giants or the Atlanta Falcons. Coverage begins next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. So here we go. 1 second left before overtime. They'll kick this one away. They'll just dribble it. Clock is down, so unless they do a lateral and all that kind of business, we're in OT. And that's the way it will stand. The end of regulation play. The season finale here in San Diego. The Seattle Seahawks 28, the San Diego Chargers 28. And there's a quick look at the overtime rules. And Coach, it's perfect time for me to tee this one up. Do you think there should be a rule change where there is at least 1 possession per team mandatory in overtime?
Right, I do. I think they should allow the other team a chance to come back if one team gets it under kick. What's your opinion? How do you feel about it? You like it the way it is, or do you think there ought to be an alteration?
I'll answer that in 1 second, Coach. We're going to listen to this coin toss.
And it is his. You would like the ball. Which goal? You're in the right direction. Seattle won the toss. Will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
Seattle wins the toss. They will receive. And I'll answer your question when we come back from commercial now. Back here in San Diego, Ron Pitts, Marv Levy, we are in overtime. The start of overtime. We're tied up at 28-28. And a quick look at the scoring. Early on, it was Hasselbeck to Daryl Jackson. And then Drew Brees. He found tight end Steven Alexander in the middle of the field. But the Bolts came right back. Ken Lucas missed the jam at the line of scrimmage. Rookie Eric Parker ate him up down the sideline. Matt Hasselbeck was able to give it to Sean Alexander. He pounded inside and got another score for the Seahawks. Drew Brees, the play action. McCrary was all alone in the end zone. And then the great catch by Warren Robinson as the Seahawks refuse to quit. And finally, the tying score. Hasselbeck, they emptied the backfield out, and he went with the quarterback sneak. And the San Diego Chargers have been in 3 overtime games this year. No team in NFL history has won 4.
And they won those 3.
This will be James Williams, and they won all 3 of them. Williams has a big hole. Williams looked like he was trying to end this thing early.
I should say.
26-yard return by James Williams. And if Matt Hasselbeck and the Seattle Seahawks can pick up anywhere near where they left off, they'll go right down the field, because the last 2 possessions were very smooth for this team.
Well, they were, but in that final drive, they had to convert several times, including a last play opportunity for a touchdown. I think 4 times we counted where the next play could have finished their drive. Here they go again, as you say, Ron.
And there's Robinson. Robinson has been in the mix all day long. 13 on that one. Matt Hasselbeck at the end of regulation, 31 for 44 for 421 yards and 2 touchdowns. Breeze, on the other hand, hasn't been that bad. He's thrown for 332 yards. This is Heath Evans. Evans gets out near midfield. A pickup of 4. There's a look at the Chargers in overtime.
2nd and 6. And we talked later about both possessions. The thing I don't like about the fact that you can win it on the first possession is it just takes a field goal. And with the proficiency of the field goal kickers today, you don't have to move a long way usually to get in position to win the game without your opponent ever touching the ball.
Complete to Stevens. Stevens, he's out across the 50. And he's out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. A pickup of 8.
Stevens was very active early in the game. Then we haven't heard much about him, and it now makes another big play to move the chains.
And, Coach, as I mentioned, it starts off, and you know this better than anyone in the world, the great return by James Williams on special teams.
Sure.
A couple plays, look where the ball is.
What a difference. Hidden yardage, that kicking game. You'll see how much total offense was at the end of the game, but then the kicking yardage will be factored into that.
4 spread. Heath Evans will hammer it in there, and they're still going. They got a nice little scrum. It'll only be for 3 yards, but that'll probably set up a play action pass. And if you're San Diego, Coach, do you take a chance and send the heat to make a play?
Yeah, I don't think you said yes. The answer to that is yes. I don't think you play too conservatively here. You can't let them dump off of the short ones and get the few yards they really need to have a viable field goal opportunity.
Remember, at the bottom of your screen, Quentin Jammer, the rookie cornerback. They dump it out. Stevens will get hemmed up immediately.
And did they force? You bet they did. They brought Rodney Harrison off the corner right into the face of Hasselbeck, and he was very fortunate and very astute in being able to unload that one.
No gain on the play.
They better pick up some, because they want to try a field goal from this spot. We're talking 58 yards. I don't think they'll try.
Hasselbeck is upset, and he might have a point. Rodney Harrison went right to his head. They've called that a lot this year. 3rd down and 7. Inside, and it's caught by Corin Robinson. And let's check the mark. That looks like an easy first down. Corin Robinson has come up huge today. It started off, he caught the first 2 balls, I believe, and he's been going ever since. A pickup of 9. Coach, what? A new passing record for Matt Hasselbeck, breaking Dave Craig's single game record, set back in 1983. Heath Evans again, and they just keep pounding and pounding and pounding.
Well, they got to be thinking heavily field goal by now. It's still not a gimme. It's a 47-yarder from here.
All right, Coach, when do you start to say, okay, let me throttle down and get my kicker oiled up here?
I'd want to be inside the 25 And inside the 20, I'm only thinking field goal.
Okay, inside the 25.
That's right.
So we're about a good 5 yards away. Here comes the safety blitz. And they came too soon. Hasselbeck checked out of it.
They're still coming.
And they're still coming. Inside, and he takes a hit. Quentin Jammer put a lick on James Williams. Woo. You can hear that one up here. Let's listen.
Rodney Harrison again was blitzing on it. They're blitzing him a lot. Here is a tough offensive call. If you throw a pass, you're going to be trying a 47-yard field goal, incomplete pass. Do you run and try and get a few closer? I think they're going to run from their formation, trying to spread it. I'm wrong. Oh, I think Hasselbeck was going to run.
He's in trouble. He's going to get rid of it. It's intercepted. That's Molden. And Molden's on the ground. And if I'm Matt Hasselbeck, I don't know if I go to the Seattle Seahawks sideline with Mike Holmgren there.
The call appeared to be a rollout that Hasselbeck was going to run on to try and get yardage. He realized he was losing yardage out of field goal position, so he unwisely unloaded.
Wow. Third turnover today for Seattle. Huge play by cornerback Alex Molden. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Drew Brees and the Chargers. Play action. They're going deep. He's got the tight end. That ball was a little underthrown and it was a little late. Intended for Steven Alexander.
I'll give you a little coach speak again, Ron. This is one of the things we tried to sell to our players. Yes, turnovers are important. Really important. We're going to work on them. We're going to try not to turn it over, try and get it. But when it happens, regardless of which side we're on, what happens after the turnover is so vital.
Right.
Do we have the spunk on defense to stop them? Do we have the ingenuity on offense to take advantage? Very important that players have that mentality.
2nd down and 10. Quick slant to Dwight. It's behind. Chargers have misfired twice now. They'll be looking at a 3rd down and a full set.
I just have a feeling on that play, Dwight, original assignment, because from both sides they were going to send people straight up field, but the safeties were so deep that Dwight broke it off and hoped that Brees would see and hit him on the slant.
Not the time of the game. You should be making mistakes like that, though. Brees is in trouble. He'll go down. Rocky Bernard, the 5th round draft pick, along with Randall, makes the stop, and it's a big one.
Well, in line with what I had said just a snap or two ago, Seattle's much maligned defense rose to the occasion after what appeared to be a back-breaking giveaway.
Should be great field position now for the Seahawks. This will be Ingram. He'll take it at the 40. He's got a wall inside. The wall shuts down fast. Joey Goodspeed in on the tackle. So Hasselbeck gets a new life. Much like the new life that Tiki Barber got yesterday in New York.
Very good parallel, Ron. Very good. Tiki Barber owing over 200 yards, could have been the GOAT, wound up being one of the great heroes in their victory.
It's amazing. And the Chargers will have the same problem. They did not stop the Seahawks from going right down the field on that last series. Here comes the safety blitz. Rodney Harrison gets it over Harrison's head to Evans, but Evans is brought down immediately by Zeke Marino.
Marino filling in for Junior Seau has done a very creditable job today. One Southern California Trojan playing for another. I'm saying that in the presence of a UCLA.
Yes, you are. You have to be careful about that kind of stuff. You don't like to talk about those guys unless it's absolutely necessary.
All right.
Like your job depends on it. Second down and 12. Intended for Jackson. Jackson took a shot by Donnie Edwards across the middle of the field, and that blew up the play. You hear me? Third down and 12.
Just sent a defensive back in the Chargers for a linebacker. Total passing situation here.
He'll run it again. Look at the room that Hasselbeck has. And he gets on the ground at about the 33. He takes a hit from Rodney Harrison. But the jaw-jacking won't matter because he picked up a big first down.
The Chargers' coverages have changed considerably with a lot of the blitzing by Rodney Harrison. And as a result, Hasselbeck on 3 or 4 occasions here in his fourth quarter has taken off running. Never with more effect than he's done right here on this play.
21 big ones. And Hasselbeck has had a couple nice runs here in this overtime period. You see the clock running down. This is sudden death. Here comes the blitz. Harrison on the outside. Max Strong, he got a few inside. And coach will apply your rule again. And it looks like they're even setting it up. If you're inside the 25, you're thinking field goal. If you're inside the 20, you're definitely thinking field goal.
That's it all the way, in my opinion.
And there it is. Lindell.
Right now, with what they're doing with Rodney Harrison, whatever side he's on, I'd run a toss to the opposite side. He's going to be coming there. They're falling off on the other side. They're rotating his way to protect the zone he's vacated.
Here comes the corner blitz. Molden. Boom. And there goes Strong. Strong just ran right through 2 Charger defenders, and he's inside that 25.
Given what happened on the last possession, I think that the Seahawks are thinking only being conservative and go for the field goal right now. I'd be stunned if they throw on this 3rd and 1, but I've been stunned before.
3rd and 1. If you haven't made it, you run a play inside, get set up.
Yeah,
in the middle of the field, get yourself set up and then kick it, or what?
Yeah. In this particular instance, I think I'd run. There is a great argument for it. It's 3rd down. Why not kick your field goal now? If there's a bad snap, don't even try to kick it. Just fall on it and get your 4th down chance to kick it.
Right. Exactly.
Nevertheless, I do think I would run the ball in this particular instance. And they certainly are running the play.
They run Strong. Strong almost breaks clean. Wow.
Now, Ron, I would do something you suggested. I'd run one play towards the center of the field, and I'd line up to try and kick a field goal. Okay. That's what I would do now. These weather conditions, everything are favorable to it. One play and try and center it up.
Lindell, from this point, would be looking at about a 33-yard field goal. He's 8 of 10 from that distance. Meanwhile, they keep pounding inside. Strong again. 3 in a row for Strong. You don't want to get too cute, but by the same token, you want to make the field goal as easy as possible for your kicker.
Yeah, I think I would. And that's what makes the world go round. Doesn't mean it's right. I think I would kick it now. Why take the chance to fumble? It's between the hash marks.
Yeah. And John Randall thinks so too.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yeah. They'll snap it again. Here comes the blitz. Strong again. Strong better hold on with 2 hands. And he gets more yardage. He got 6 that time. It should be, and I will put this in quotes, this should be a chip shot for Ryan Lindell. But we know how chip shots go, especially on golf courses in an NFL game.
Okay. They're pounding, and they're pounding effectively.
Coach, you don't agree with this, do you?
And I wouldn't do this. No, listen, it may be right. He may take it all the way to the end zone. They win the game.
Right.
Nevertheless, I think they've got a almost surefire field goal.
Oh, he did it right there.
Down. He did move to the middle in order to put it right back in the middle.
Well, Ryan Lindell, he's had 1 field goal attempt today from 52 yards, and that was no good, and it gave the San Diego Chargers great field position as a result. He'll be very, very close on this one. This will be 24 yards. He's 8 of 8 from this distance this year. He hasn't missed. It's up. It's good. It's game. The Seattle Seahawks have beaten the San Diego Chargers in overtime. We'll be back to wrap up today's action from here in San Diego right after these messages.